哎呦呦 ，one shot baby， 跟那兄弟 keyso 哈，那听个上海。
Hi guys, I'm back in China. Not quite. 我其实大概在1个月之前已经搬到了。Brisbane 的华人区 Sunnybank， 而我现在感觉到热血沸腾。有可能是因为阳光一直照着我，也有可能是因为我从安静的黄界海岸搬到了有那么多中餐厅、那么多华人的Brisbane Sunnybank， 让我感觉我离香港又近了一步。而今天因为天气那么好，所以 I thought I'd record today's video outdoors for you guys, and we'll be talking about interviews. But before this video starts, I just want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by myself and my own experiences. So if you enjoy this video, please leave a like. This is not an educational video, but I'm here to share my experiences. So without further ado, let's begin. OK， 在我说 interview 时候的一些重点之前，我先来跟大家讲一些在准备 interview 的时候该做的一些事情。当你收到 interview offer 的时候，你要做的第一件事情就是 check time zones。这个是特别重要的一点，那就是他们 interview 上面会给你一个这个 interview 的时间和日期。And what you have to do is you have to make sure that you have taken into consideration the time zone of the interview. 有一个朋友，他因为夏令时搞错了 interview 的时间，所以他晚上了这个 interview 大概40分钟左右，然后那边的老师直接跟他 cancel 了这个 interview. This is a very common mistake, and it's just a heads up for your first step when receiving an interview offer. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about dress code. For every university interview, the dress code would be different, especially if it's online or in person. That would also be very different as well. But generally, you want to be wearing something in between smart casual and very formal, somewhere in between. You want to be formal, but not too formal that it seems out of place. 因为最重要的还是要穿得干净和正式，但不要太正式就好。然后还有一个特别重要的，在 interview 之前你要准备的就是一个 self-introduction。一般大部分 university 都会在 interview 刚刚开始的时候为你做一个自我介绍，最短大概在30秒，最长会给你90秒或者2分钟时间做一个自我介绍。而你在 interview 开始之前需要准备的正是这个自我介绍。Now, I'm not telling you to script your self-introduction, but you need to make sure that you have the following aspects in your self-introduction. You want to have a general beginning about yourself, your name, your age, blah, 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 your academics, your extracurricular achievements, and then into your hobbies. And if you can fit it into the time frame, you also want to have done research beforehand on the specific university which you are being interviewed by, and talk about why your values and if you can fit it into the time frame, you also want to be talking about what values that you have that the university would appreciate. Ask yourself this question. Out of all of the candidates who've applied to the university, and this course specifically, what makes me stand out? Is it my academics and heavy interest in this field? Is it my leadership qualities, etc.? And once you've found that out, you want to be putting that into your self-introduction as well, if possible. Okay, so now that you have all the dot points done, the next thing left to do before your interview for your self-introduction is to practice a lot. Perfection comes with practice, not with scripting. Because with scripting, even though you might be able to come up with a pretty good self-introduction, which you can replicate pretty easily, the downside of scripting as opposed to writing dot points and practicing is that the university may give you a specific time frame for your interview. As mentioned previously, you have about 30 seconds, a minute, or even maximum maybe 2 minutes, 90 seconds, something like that, for a self-introduction. So if you walk up to the interview or you open up the Zoom interview and the interviewer tells you, you have 1 minute for a self-introduction, please begin, and they start the timer, what are you going to do? Are you going to rush your scripted interview, which is supposed to be around 90 seconds? Or are you going to just stop at a very abrupt points in your interview, or even worse, get cut off midway through your self-introduction? Now, all of these aren't good options, but if you were to have written dot points beforehand, you would easily be able to order the dot points in the order of how significant they are, and you can literally just remove an entire chunk of that dot point and just not talk about it, and talk about the more important ones first, so that you are able to have a much more concise and effective self-introduction given the limited time frame. OK， 现在我跟大家分享一个很好玩的故事，这也就是我们下一点要说的，就是 interview 刚刚开始的时候你要做的一些事情，那就是你要先准备好你所有需要的 documents。比如说我的 online interview 的考官，他们都会问我要准备好自己的 passport。那个时候他们 interview 一开始，我就会给他们看我的 passport 来证明我的身份。而我的 passport 呢，一直放在一个小的 plastic bag 里面。当 interview 开始的时候，他们叫我拿我的 passport， 我就试着从这个 plastic bag 里面把这个 passport 拿出来。但是呢，我当时因为是我的第一个 interview， 也就是我的 HKUST 的这个双学位 interview， 我实际上特别的紧张，我从来没有做过 interview， 所以我根本就没拿出来，我就很急的想把这个 passport 拿出来，然后我越拿越急，反而拿不出来，最后花了我大概半分钟时间就把这个 passport 拿出来，然后说实话 it was very embarrassing, but I've learned from that, and for the following interviews 我就把我的这个 passport 已经事先拿出来，然后放在旁边。And this is just an example for one type of documentation. It may apply to many other things. But the main takeaway here is just to have everything prepared so that you won't waste any time when the interview starts. Now, the next thing is also a very, very important point. I know I've said to prepare well, and I'm about to contradict that right now by saying, do not expect to present everything that you have prepared. For my HKU interview, I prepared a long introduction and a lot of different activities and experiences that I could talk about and expand upon, right? But the interview only lasted like 5 minutes, and it felt so bad after the interview because I felt that I didn't present anything that I prepared. I wasn't able to showcase who I really was because I had so many experiences and reflections that I wanted to talk about, but I just didn't have a chance to do that. But it turned out I got the offer in the end with a full scholarship. So what I've learned from that is just don't expect to present everything that you've prepared. Sometimes life just doesn't go your way, and interviews won't go your way either. Just because of how you envision it to be doesn't mean it will be like that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. Maybe from just talking to you for 5 minutes, the interviewer realized that, oh, this student knows what they're talking about. There's not much need for me to continue asking any more questions, and the interviewer must know this better than you. So don't be concerned if the interview's too short, and especially don't be concerned that you weren't able to demonstrate all of the experiences and reflections that you've had prepared. And the next thing I want to talk about, let's go over here, because I feel like it. Is, what is this? Be confident. Exactly. Be confident, and I don't mean it generically. I don't mean going up. I mean, obviously, smile and be relaxed and all that general stuff. What I mean by be confident is more of an aggressive confidence. Okay? I don't mean like you want to be attacking anybody, but you want to put yourself out there because you want to showcase who you really are. Let me give you an example. For my HKUST interview, I was told during the interview, towards the beginning, that I was the only candidate out of all of the candidates who have applied for this specific course to have not submitted a personal statement. So on the spot, I was obviously very surprised. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, but do you still want my personal statement? And then at the time they were like, no, we're all right. It's a bit late now, because the interview has already started. It's already the interview. You should have submitted your personal statement way earlier. So they initially rejected my offer to send them through my personal statement again. And then we had our interview and all that. And what I did in the end is exactly the point that I'm trying to make here: confidence. I asked one more time before the interview ended, do you want to see my personal statement? Should I send it through now? But in the end, I wasn't being pushy, I wasn't being stubborn or arrogant. And then because I asked it a second time towards the end of the interview was actually agreed this time. And I ended up sending through my personal statement through the Zoom meeting. And to be honest, I don't think that was the deciding factor for how I got the offer from that interview, but it certainly showed my character and how I was willing to go that extra step in order to get this offer that I really wanted to get. So yeah, summing up that experience, be confident. OK, 下一点我们要说的就是 interview questions。
我就欢喜夜来上海勿出去，离开上海我就勿适意，还是欢喜来外滩看黄浦江，还是欢喜上海小姑娘太长。
在基本上每一个 university interview 结束之前，考官都会先问你有没有任何给他们的问题，而在这里你最不能说的就是没有问题，因为这个答案无论是不是真实的，都会给考官一种假象，就是你不是特别的 interested 他们的 course， 或者你没有做太多的准备，所以你没有任何的问题。真正对一个 course 和一个 university 有兴趣的学生，一定会有对这个大学的问题，因为他们还没进这个大学，他们并不会了解这个大学。所以如果你特别想进，那你一定会做很多的 research， 然后有很多想对这个 university 问的一些问题，或者想知道这个 course 里面的一些细节之类的。所以你在这个部分要问 university 一些 question 是特别重要的。但是呢，你问问题也有几个错误的例子，比如说你不能问太 generic 的 question。我在我第一、第二个 interview 的时候，我都在最后问了一个特别简单的问题，就是关于 scholarship 的，因为我当时真的特别需要 scholarship 才可以到香港去读书。但是我没有搞清楚的就是 interview 我的人 they are not responsible for the scholarship matters of the university. And although it wasn't like really bad of a question, it didn't really accomplish much, and more importantly, it wasted the time which I could have asked a more constructive question, which would have both allowed me to understand further about the university and the course that I was applying for, but also showed my continued interest to the course. 所以更加正确的一些 question 就是你要问一些 questions that are more related to the course that you are applying for, but not generic questions which the admissions team is not responsible to answering.
rapper 上辈娘的娘气，唱个 LH 啊，只好让伊拉气，最傻气的就是各种假子假眼，从头到脚讲。
Okay, so in conclusion, although I've said all of these different kind of things that you can prepare for, your self-introduction, your questions at the end, etc., interviews ultimately come down to your soft skills and your ability to deal with unexpected situations. So don't expect everything to go your way. 但是如果你听了我刚刚说的所有的这些 steps 之后，那你的 interviews 绝对不会有任何问题，加油！我这个视频刚刚讲的都是关于 one-on-one individual interview 的一些 tips。如果你们对 group interviews 的一些 experience 感兴趣的话，let me know in the comments down below and leave a like。我以后可能会做一个关于 group interview 的视频，如果有很多人想要看的话。太阳马上要下山了，我们下次再见 ，See ya。
老做的事体稍微扎紧，尽量广大上海居民同志开车哈领，随头把乡人广场台不算年纪大，有热烈个青年欢迎侬联系我，讲到上海 rapper 专业人提起我，30117我聊一夜接屁股。